90% acceptable.
Oh, man.
This is fine. We will move as needed.
Watch live now. Oh.
Fine. Why move as needed?
Oh.
No, that is so... Allison, you cannot watch us live on your phone while you are the live. Hi, shout out to the 3 people who have already thumbs up this video. Can you tell us if we're audible? That's going to be an important starting point. And I refuse to go further until we know for sure.
Sexy. Good.
Stop.
I can't.
Okay, perfect. We are audible. Hey, Riley, what?
I was
Are you going to stand here and floss the whole time?
I was seeing how long I could floss until you told me to leave.
I'm not going to tell you to leave, but it is
very distracting.
You're standing there flossing. All right. Oh, Jordan's here. All right.
So glad.
She made it.
Bridget says good sound. I appreciate that. Hey, everybody. It's me, your usual bitch, and Allison, joining me in person for the first time after making a name as the originator of Sex Witch Bingo. Riley. Oh, here comes my new roommate. Riley.
Hi. This is important. They need to know.
You'll definitely be seeing Riley again at some point.
I live here.
Spoiler.
Oh, I was saying because you were going to come talk about Mothman's dick.
No, I'll always talk about Mothman's dick.
We know. All right, bye,
Riley's
Riley.
our local monster fucker.
Oh, Haley says you have the coolest glasses.
Thank
They're
you.
jealous.
I want to get the wire-rimmed ones that every gay has right now.
But they're already so cool. Cool. I'm gonna give it a second while Mothman's dick. I'm just gonna spit words for a second while I wait for folks to trickle in because we're only a minute in. Oh God.
I can't.
It's okay. Oh, what does the hat say, Allison?
It says executive producer Dick Wolf because I got very impulsive and I still had some money left on a gift card I got at Christmas. And I decided that this hat was a good purchase.
It was a good purchase. I'm going to scoot a little. I'm going to angle myself this way. Don't go anywhere. I just need to make myself a little more visible. Nathan Spaulding was almost late because he was explaining to his parents who Kate Kane was. I have feelings about the Batwoman trailer that we don't need to talk about right now. It's not good. Also, I want to apologize for Allison having to sit down here. I don't do this to all my guests, but my old roommate, took my second chair when she moved out last week. So Allison's sitting on an exercise ball and I'm sitting on the regular chair.
I'm on the TV, sexy.
Oh God, Jordan y'all know I don't love being put on people's TVs. I especially don't love when people take a picture and send it to me, which I think Jordan just fucking did and I'm blinking. All right.
I have my mouth open.
We both look really hot. Okay. So tonight.
Jordan, send me more.
Jordan, don't. There are 2 wolves fighting inside you, Jordan. Okay, so
I just got you to key smash. I really did that.
I'm gonna try to keep this on the rails tonight. Allison is gonna do whatever the hell Allison. Allison, would you like to introduce yourself, actually?
Yeah. Hi, my name is AJ or Allison. I use they, them, or she, her pronouns. Whichever, doesn't matter.
You've literally never told me the AJ thing, and I feel really bad just now finding out about it.
I haven't really told very many people. I just started going by it.
I like it. Okay. So we're going to talk about identity and get a lot into like our own personal labels that we use and have used over the years. Kind of what I originally meant this to be a stream that's kind of in response. Marjo's here. Marjo, congrats on Eurovision.
Hi.
You personally won. I kind of meant this to be a response to the many, many asks I've gotten over the years of people showing up and going, hi, am I insert sexual identity here? To which my answer is always, I can't tell you. It ended up being less that and more, as you should be. Marjo, you worked very hard to personally win Eurovision for your country. I know nothing about Eurovision except who won. And Madonna was there, no one cared. It ended up being more of an exploration of how we personally have gone through many labels. So let's think of this as maybe a prologue to the episode I will eventually do about
Save that for later.
Why I can't tell you if you're gay. This is a good starting point, though. So we're going to get a lot into like our gender and sexuality labels, obviously, so I don't need Allison to explain that. Is there anything else you want anyone to know about you?
No.
It's just elevator music in their head. That's fine. All right. I'm also considering this an early pregame for Pride Month. Oh, here, I'm wearing my super gay tank top.
I'm wearing,
This is also a very gay shirt, even if it's not rainbow.
It's from Target, so it's automatically
gay. True allies. All right, sorry, I have notes on my phone, so I don't have to flip. We both have notes on our phone, so I swear I'm not ignoring you to play Pokemon Go. Although they drop a new Pokemon today, and I'm out of data for the month, and I'm in purgatory. So we kind of tried to break this up into sections for a loose narrative structure. we'll see how well that works.
Bridget, my roommate actually owns the shorts that go with this, and it's a
Are there
very good
matching
combination.
shorts?
There sure are.
Jesus God.
Also, Jordan, I'm
Miles
not saying
has
that.
that shirt. All the gays are
this
really...
is literally like the gay brain. My friend stole
gay brain
there's
cell.
a yellow shirt that looks kind of like this. Well, it's just like a yellow button up, but it's like the same design. And my friend stole it from Target. So like gays got a whole good thing going on.
Gays got a great thing. This is also from Target. Okay, so I wanted to buy their unicorn romper last year, but they sold out. Also, Allison, I need you to close Pokemon Go. We're getting into the first section. So
Okay.
Section 1. The first step to figuring out your identity is admitting you're not straight. Do you want to start this part or should I?
Yeah, I can start.
Okay, go
I
for
just
it.
had to catch the
You don't
wig.
have to read directly out. Do whatever feels natural.
Yeah, I am
yes,
currently unmedicated, so going through my brain is just an entire like it's the whole elevator music thing, but instead of elevator music, it's whatever TikTok is currently stuck in my head.
And that's fine.
Yeah. So hi. I'm AJ. I am usually in the chat. I am one of the OG creators of the live stream bingo. I will drop that. I will drop the link to that again later. Yeah. So I basically learned about being gay and about gay people through Glee, and that was,
as promised, we'll bring you back in 55 episodes for episode 69 to talk about Glee.
I will go on an hour and a half long rant about Glee. I have some feelings. Yeah, so like there was a whole lot of repression going on there because, I was in middle school and kids are dicks. And that whole thing of like slurs being thrown at me before I even knew what a gay person was. I never really entertained much about it for a long time because I had a crush on the same boy for about 9 years. Like he kissed me when I was 5 and I was like, wow. This must be like attraction.
Guess I'm in love now.
Yeah, no, that's basically what happened. I literally just stuck with it for 9 years. And it's a thing where it's like a whole lot of lesbians go through it. It's just like this man was semi-nice to me and does not seem threatening. So I'm basically in love with him. I had the whole like forced femininity thing too. Nobody really like forced it upon me besides, the whole society thing. So I was always in dresses and getting into makeup and heels and tons of Aeropostale and Hollister clothes so I could fit in with all the cool girls. Yeah, that ended real quickly. And once I hit middle school, I stopped trying to fit in the same way. And that was nice. So Glee.
We've talked a little bit about mine before because it's my stream and I usually have to vamp this alone for an hour. But I learned about gay people from a pretty early age and like in a pretty non-stigmatized way thanks to my mom. Megan is a legend. But it took me a really long time to admit that was like a thing I personally was resonating with so much because it was me. I thought I was just a really good ally for a long time. I think somewhere around middle school, I knew for sure that I liked girls, and it was because of a book that I read that was not in any way like a middle school book. Like my mom fully just read it for book club and then chucked it at me, and it was called Lost and Found, and it was by Carolyn Parkhurst. And I only knew that because the other day at work, I spotted it while I was shelving, and I was like, "Gay awakening." And one of the characters in the book is a teenage girl who's a lesbian. And there's a line where she's like, oh, I used to like imagine what it would be like to kiss every girl in my class. And I was like, huh. And then I found myself also doing that. And I was like, I'm sure this is just because I read about it in a book and not because kissing girls is a thing that I personally would like to do. But I also had crushes on boys, which was like confusing because middle school boys sucked, but like they were definitely like real. I had a crush on this one guy for like the better part of 6 years, and we actually dated for a little while, for like 2 weeks at the end of senior year, and then he dumped me for my 15-year-old neighbor because he was trash. I also spent most of middle school crushing very hard on a very short boy named Matt Overfelt. He drives for Jimmy John's now. Anyway. Also, Allison just dropped a bingo chart in the chat if anyone wants to peep that and try to check off the spaces. But basically, I kept telling myself for years, like, oh, it's okay if you are attracted to girls because, like, you're also attracted to boys. So you can just, like, always date boys and never have to deal with the girl thing. And that's funny for 600 reasons now. Because 1, I don't date anyone. And 2, I don't like boys that much. Like, I do, but not that much. So that's where I start. It took a long time to be like, oh, you're not a straight at all. It took a lot of time on Tumblr. I'm gonna be super real. I just needed to see gays existing as like real human beings.
Yeah, I had the whole thing of like, oh, there was like this one post and it was like, those straight girls that are obsessed with gay couples. And I was like, it's funny because I'm a 13-year-old girl and I'm obsessed with this gay couple. And there's a post and it talks about like lesbians who like got themselves attached to like gay male culture. I've got it down here. Because like we didn't have any sort of like representation, at least not age appropriate representation. The only thing that existed when I was like a preteen was like the L word, and I could not watch that as a preteen and have that be like age appropriate. So I basically like thrived off of like gay men representation because that's all I knew about.
I have questions for Bridget, who says my parents are literally lesbians and I didn't know about gay people till I was like 10.
Did you just think it was normal? But
Bridget was like, everyone's a lesbian, right?
Yeah, the whole post I just dropped is this whole thing, and I like genuinely, it's like such a relatable feeling to me where you just pick up like these mannerisms that don't actually belong to you, but you don't have any other sort of representation to fix it. And I lost my spot, so I gotta scroll back up.
I'll just talk about something else while you find your spot in the outline.
Thank you.
So, like we said, step 1 is admitting that you're not straight in the first place, and that can be really fucking hard because admitting that you are different in some capacity is terrifying. And I think you can jump through a lot of hoops. Like, we'll get back to this, I think, but like Allison said, like they spent a lot of time going, oh, that was probably attraction to a boy. And I spent a lot of time going, well, you're also attracted to boys in addition to girls, so you don't have to deal with the gay part because that's scary. Oh, the hat is gone. This stream is no longer executive produced by Dick Wolf. So part 2. So you've accepted you're not straight. Now, what do you call yourself? Or how did we pick our first labels? Do you want me to start this since you're still scrolling?
Yeah, I found my spot originally, but now we're in part 2, so I gotta go find it again.
So I did not no questions asked except that I was attracted to women until the summer before my senior year of high school, which feels very late in the game. Which, I mean, it's comparatively early for some people, but it felt very late to me. And I had that crystal clear moment of like, oh, you like girls. And that's just how it's going to be. But I still didn't know what to do with that. Like, I knew the word bisexual existed. It did not feel like it could apply to me at all because I was like a small yuck from Billings, Montana, and bisexuality felt very like exciting and inaccessible. And I was like, no, only cool people are bisexual. Like I said, it helped a lot that I was spending time on Tumblr, noticing that actually also big nerd people were also bisexual. But I didn't know if I still didn't know if I could call myself that until my best friend came out as bi to me, like very early in 2014, our last like semester. Was it semesters in high school?
I had semesters in high school. I don't know about you.
The last couple months of high school, my best friend was like, I have something to tell you and it's really dramatic. And if you like me less, like, I'm sorry, but like, this is who I am and it's the truth. And I was like, bitch, where's the body? Let's hide it. And it just turned out she was bi and she was like, thank you for not judging me. I was like, well, that would be pretty hypocritical because I guess I'm also bi. So I identified as bisexual then. I used it pretty interchangeably with pansexual for like the first year of my being out. Like I came into college very like, oh, I'm bi or I'm pan, whatever. Meh. And I don't really have like a reason for that except that, like I was attracted to multiple genders and neither felt more accurate at the time. I think if I'm being like 100% honest, this was like kind of at a time when a lot of folks were like, oh, like pan just means being like open to whatever. And like, I was never on the like bisexuality is transphobic train, but I was like, oh, like pan is just more like open and inclusive. And I want to be that, you know? Cause I was very much the like, oh, well, like bisexual means I'm like 50-50 attracted to like men and women. They don't ask me where non-binary people fit in there. Cause I'm 17 and I don't know shit. But I was I think like a big part of the reason I used both was just because like right when I was coming out, I was very, very eager to be like, but like I am super open and equally attracted to all conceivable genders and they're all equally, I don't know why. I think it might be that lingering like compulsory heterosexuality. It was like, you need to like really emphasize you are gay, but like men are in too and like everyone's cool. And we'll dig a little bit deeper into like why I gradually stopped using pan and why that may or may not be related to me realizing like I'm not into dudes that much. By which I mean I'm attracted to men, but that attraction is complicated given my personal politics and the way men are.
Yeah.
How did you pick your first label?
So by the time I was about 13 and a half, I'd finally been like, hey, you think about girls a lot. You keep calling Diana Agron, like, super pretty and talking about how pretty she is,
God,
and maybe there's
so...
something behind that.
Okay, wait, I don't want to dunk on you for having Glee in your awakening. I didn't share mine, but, like, the thing that finally got me on board was fucking Man of Steel, like, one of DC's worst movies. Because, like, in the first, there's, like, an evil lady Kryptonian in it.
Mm-hmm.
And in, like, the first 5 minutes, like, she shows up. She doesn't even do much in the movie. She's just there to look cool. But she, like, shows up looking like she's going to murder someone. And I was sitting there. It was. And I'm, like, 17 years old. No, I guess 16, because it was July. And I hadn't had my birth. So I'm 16 years old. And I'm sitting here in this theater seat. And I've been, like, ambiguously queer for a couple years, but, like, really determined that, like, I just never act on my girl crush feelings because that'd be too complicated. And then this fucking lady alien who kills people comes on screen, and I had this crystal clear thought of, like, I would let that woman destroy me sexually. And then I was like, holy shit, kid. And then I was like, I guess I'm into women. And I spent the rest of Man of Steel just going, yeah, I'm gay. And I walked out of that theater a different person, and I never questioned it again. Like, I literally, in the space of this very bad movie, in between making fun of Clark Kent's dad for telling him maybe he should have let kids drown, just going like, yeah, guess I'm into women, and that's just never gonna change.
Jordan said she thought the movie was Frozen since it came out in the same year.
Oh, God.
Because you just said you were, like, ashamed of whatever movie made you gay.
Oh, no, it definitely was not Frozen.
Yeah,
no.
So...
Elsa is a lesbian, but that was not my thing.
Yeah, I just looked at Diana Agron and I was like, I just think she's neat. And
I want to acknowledge M saying, I forgot that I thought I might... Oh, wait, okay. After I forgot that I thought I might be gay, I realized it fully after a girl adjusted my bra strap and I had such a panic attack, I had to go home.
Oh,
you're valid. You're valid.
I support you, though. That's fully understandable. So I was about 13 and a half when I finally decided, like, okay, you know what? Maybe I'm a little gay. And
you are a little gay.
I'm taller than you.
Yeah, but not right now. You're not.
She likes to be tall.
I do. You volunteered to sit on the ball.
I know. I didn't realize it'd make me this short, but I don't really care because, like, bounce.
She boing.
Yeah, as someone who knows Mackenzie in real life, I've constantly seen her stand on tables and chairs, and
I stand
just
on a lot of chairs.
They just stand on whatever, like, is closest to them that can, like, heighten them.
Yeah.
It's really great. It's very entertaining. It was like, it could have been another Mackenzie bingo thing. So I kind of went through the whole thing of, like, oh, well, people are saying that being bi is transphobic. And I was like, I'm 12. I don't exactly want to be canceled for using this label because I was on Tumblr as well. And, you know, there's the whole thing of Tumblr canceling you every time you breathe. So I didn't really want to be labeled problematic. And I didn't come out to anyone in person for about another year and a half. I blocked out most of my adolescence, but I'm pretty sure I told my best friend and my mom.
Did you just say you blocked out most of your adolescence?
Yeah. There's a whole story I could go off on about how I forgot this whole thing that happened in elementary school, and I had all my classmates tell me, yeah, this happened, and I was like, oh, okay. I fully didn't remember anything, but that's a whole other story, not related to this stream. But I told my best friend and my mom about the same time, and I was probably about 14 by the time I finally told them, which was about 6 months later. And then once we moved past, like, the Tumblr discourse phase, for the most part, I realized that bi and pan are both valid labels, and I went with bisexual because I was like, I felt that I had attraction to men and women in different ways, and I never really still thought about non-binary genders because I was 14.
I want to add on to that, yeah, like, just because I stopped using pan does not mean that pan is not a good label for other folks. Also, just throwing out there, my understandings and the way I relate to bi and pansexuality are not the way everyone does, and if you think of them differently than I do, that's fine. I've maintained for a long time that the main distinguishing features between bi and pansexuality are the people who use them and how they individually think about them. Also, I want to quickly acknowledge Haley Weasley over here saying an Anon once accused them of lying about being bi because they didn't like a character that was bi. Hey, what?
I hate Tumblr.
Also, it's gone now, but Bridget mentioning that she learned what gay people were and then decided she was gay and then forgot for a couple years. Congrats on your gay family, by the way.
Yeah, so, but I identified as bi for 6 years. I was extremely out and proud. I was on my GSA. I became president at one point. I went from, like, a very active member to secretary to president, and then I got demoted to,
Oh my God.
And then I got demoted to like senior vice president, which was very funny, but it happened on my birthday, which was the funniest part. And then
you realized you were actually straight.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we're here. Yeah.
This is my token heterosexual friend.
Do I not look like the most heterosexual person you've ever met?
That's what you get for assuming things.
Yeah, but I dated my ex for 2 whole years while I was in high school, and we held hands and kissed and shit. And I was just like, yeah, I'm bi. Turns out I was wrong. Spoiler alert.
Part 3. I held up 2 fingers. Part 3. Fuck me. From Jordan. Reminds me of being called biphobic because I criticized the way a certain bi character was written. Wait, what? Am I misunderstanding something?
They're bones?
They're bones? They're bones?
Bone?
Bones?
Bones?
Bone?
Bone?
Their biness. That was, okay, an unfortunate typo. Oh, you've unleashed the lad. All right. Now that we've summoned my roommate. Okay. Yeah, no, I feel like there's like a whole other stream I could do about like bisexuality policing and how you're a bad bi. Also, just how you're a bad queer if you criticize any queer rep.
Yeah.
That's not how it should work.
I'm sure I've gotten
Riley's
some shit
making
at
a
some
face.
point.
Speaking of bones.
Yeah.
Riley, say your thing. We're on the internet.
But, speaking of bones, sorry,
Bone?
internet. Bone? Speaking of bones, sorry, internet. I'm gonna go get boned.
Nice.
Nice.
Thanks for sharing.
Thanks. I was just letting you
Good
know
for
that
you.
I'm leaving.
Cool.
Bye. Love you.
Bye. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow, and I'll see you forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love you.
I love you too.
Anyway.
Sorry, I'm gonna keep it a little open.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Guys, I love my roommate. Okay.
Jordan called you a queen, Riley.
You are a queen. Go get some. Turn off the lights though.
Riley said thank you, she is.
Good job,
Leos.
roommate. Okay, so I forgot we were speaking.
Part 3.
Yeah. Eventually, I'm gonna make a note right now, maybe in my
Hi, Nate.
Oh my God, my dad's here. Marjo says Riley sounds amazing. That's correct. A 9,000% improvement. Accurate. But remind me, I'm gonna make a note about doing a stream that's just about like how being a good queer does not mean blindly supporting all queer rep, and also maybe specifically the way bi people are policed on their biness, because like yikes. But on to part 3. Right number of fingers this time. When did that label change?
I can go ahead and start since I've got it.
Yeah.
Allison, please help yourself to anything in our fridge except for the yogurt. Don't eat the yogurt.
Okay.
Cut your legs off. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so do we want to do a sidebar about compulsory heterosexuality now or later?
Let's save that for the end, so if we're low on time, we can really deep dive on it.
Cool, awesome. All right, I did not question my identity at all until I got to college, really. I had, like, some, like, vague, like, questions where I was like, my attraction to men is pretty low. Like, so I went from the point where I was like, I'm pan, and then I was like, oh, I'm bi, and then I was like, you know what, you can just refer to me as gay, and then I was like, I mean, you can call me queer, and then I was like, what if all of those are wrong?
He's back.
He's back. So anyway,
how many interruptions can one stream have?
I bounced around for the thought for a hot second, but I always like dismissed it because like I had been out as bi for a very long time, and I was like, I mean, if I change that label now, what the fuck's gonna happen to me? Like, what does that mean? But last summer I got pretty heavily into a new fandom that involved a lot of lesbians, and I started seeing them like read blogs. It was the drag queen fandom. It was Trixie Mattel specifically. Why do you have to do this?
It's important to give people resources. That too.
Anyway, yeah, it was Trixie Mattel specifically because she's got a whole lot of lesbians around her, and I love her. But I was like, so I kept like seeing them talk about their identities, and I was like, you know, maybe one day I could like force myself to like be attracted to a man if I had like a gun to my head and I had like no choice in the matter. And then I like started seeing these posts, and it was like, hey, if you're like forcing yourself to be attracted to men.
Oh, sorry, Mary. It was drag show.
Yeah.
And
Trixie Mattel. Yeah. So I started testing out using the label lesbian online. But I kept it specifically to a Tumblr that none of my real life friends followed. And I was like, yeah, you know what? This actually sounds kind of good. But I didn't tell anyone out loud ever. So I have like really amazing friends, and it was nothing along that line. Nobody in real life like would ever question me about it, and everyone has their identity crises, but I was still terrified. I still use the word lesbian because I still consider myself woman aligned. I grew up identifying as a woman and
Talk a little bit slower.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
I don't know how to talk slowly ever. But I'm not planning on doing any like physical transition, and I'm still passing as a woman, at least to like general heterosexual public. Not everyone chooses to do it, and it's like whatever floats your boat. You know, they're he, him lesbians, and they're valid, and they've existed a lot longer than I have. So that's not even like a defining characteristic. But it's a very personal thing, and it's not for like anyone's other business to decide. So
yeah. Okay, I'm very unclear where I'm at in my outline.
I've got it if you don't.
God bless your heart. Okay, wait, hang on. Okay, so I kind of already talked about how I like gradually stopped using the word pan. And I think a big part of that is because like almost as soon as I got to college, I found a better alternative in the word queer. Like this is like a very cute little story, but like there's a welcome event for incoming LGBT students at Western, where I went, called Fab Fest, where Marjo, you're super valid.
Please get some sleep.
Yeah, I just remembered it's very, very late where you are. Please get some sleep. You don't have to answer me right away. I'll just send you some questions. I just want to know your thoughts about feeling like a bad bisexual stereotype and how that can make it hard to accept that you're bi. Because I've been there and I felt that for a lot of reasons, which we can talk about.
Also, yeah, non-binary lesbians.
Hell yeah, we love non-binary lesbians. Also, Nathan Spalding, with everybody who says their woman is one, and all women are queens.
This is also true. You're very correct.
So much validity in this chat.
Congrats on winning Eurovision, Marjo. Please get some sleep.
Yeah, you're a champion, and you deserve that rest. Your country is proud of you. You are the queen of Europe now, if my understanding of Eurovision is correct.
Is that not how it works?
I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
Anyway. KIV is a demon. This is true.
Don't know what that means. So...
Alabama governor.
Oh, yeah, no, fuck that. Haley, I also love these streams. I'm glad. So I got to college and I went to this like welcome gay students event. And that was like the first time I'd gone to something where I was like publicly outing myself by being there. And I found a button and it said, have you hugged your queer Bronco? Because Broncos is what we are at Western. And I was like, oh, queer. Yeah. Because that just felt cool, you know, like I'd seen the hashtag discourse on Tumblr.hell. Yeah, we don't need to talk about that right now. Hello again,
Hi.
Riley.
Sorry, I just also have a story to tell that's related to this.
Come here.
Go ahead.
Here.
Come here.
We
can make
room. Guest. Yeah, watch all those chords. Squeeze in.
Hi, Riley's here.
Yeah, sit on my lap.
Oh God!
Sorry. What did we do?
My head was cut off.
That's fine.
Hi!
This is Riley.
I'm Riley. Oh shit, my bone's here. Hang on. This will take 5 seconds.
Yeah.
I'm Riley. I use she, her, hers pronouns. I'm Mackenzie's roommate. Hi. Anyway, so I identify as queer. And for a very, very long time, I identified as bisexual. Because I was like, man. Dudes are good. Yeah. Also, holy shit, have you ever looked at a girl?
They're hot.
Ever. All of them pretty. So I got to college at Western. I go to Western also.
Yeah.
And they do this thing called the Speak Out Speakers Bureau Panel, which is essentially a group of volunteers who, thank you, I also love my eyebrows, who go to classes and essentially tell their coming out stories. And so a way that we figured out how to tell our coming out stories was by drawing it on a piece of paper.
Good shit.
And like telling a story.
It's very good.
Mine involved Kate Winslet's tits from the Titanic.
She has a picture of them.
I have a picture of them. I drew a picture of Kate Winslet's boobs because they were very important to me growing up, and they're still important to me now.
They're good titties.
They're good. They're really good. Thank you, Kate Winslet.
Although I would like to emphasize all titties are good titties.
True. So yeah.
Yeah.
So
We love titties in this chat.
So
We love titties in this chat.
the way I was like, maybe I'm not bisexual. Was I was thinking about it, sitting there, drawing my whole life.
Drawing your titties.
And drawing my
Not
titties.
your titties.
And I had joined Tinder because that's my coming out story involves chicken soup vomit. Oh God,
Mary.
I hope you're okay. Anyway, so
Titties are good titties sticker.
So
Yeah.
I joined Tinder because that's
also-
what you do
queer.
when
Yeah,
you
sticker
join
suggestions.
college. When you join college, you join Tinder. And I was like,
When you get accepted to Tinder, you join college.
Yeah. And I was
Unless
like,
you get banned.
I got banned. I don't know why. So I was like, do I want to put men and women? What is like my attraction to women? Where do I like put because my attraction to men is Oh God. Oh God.
Sorry, this is the most chaotic stream ever.
My attraction
We should have
to
known the second I
women
joined it'd
is
be
different
chaotic.
to my attraction to men. And I was like, where's the line there?
Little man.
And I found out that I was more sexually attracted to women or people with vaginas than I am to people with penises, which is like cool. I'll still date someone with a vagina. Doesn't mean I won't. I would just really like to bang them. So I was like, bisexual feels wrong. And I was like, what's a good other one for that? And I was like, queer. I'm just queer. I just like gay and I'm so sweaty.
You are.
I'm
You
so
feel it
sweaty.
all.
And hello, internet. I know Nate's here, but I'm gonna go get boned. Bye.
Go get boned.
Fuck.
Thank you so much for sharing. Sorry,
Ah.
this stuff is hard to escape.
Ugh.
Bye, Riley. Love you.
Thanks.
I love you.
I'll be back tomorrow.
See you. All right. So that was the most
Anyway.
exciting guest appearance we've ever. I was kind of wondering after Riley moved in how long it would be before I was streaming, and she just like kicked down
Half an hour.
the door. And yeah, it took literally 5 days and half an hour of a stream. I will pass along your love to Riley, everybody. Holy shit, I love that. That was not planned in the slightest.
This is what happens when you combine a bunch of ADHD gay brains.
Yeah, that's real. What was I? Where was I? Oh yeah. So
Queer.
Queer.
Yeah.
So I'd never I'd only seen the discourse. I'd never seen just people existing casually, being so okay with queer that they were giving it out on buttons. And that was, I think that's,
Hold on.
do you want to switch?
No.
Okay. Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay.
Got
Are you
this.
going to break my new desk?
No.
Okay. I think, tell me if I'm wrong, because you're a couple years after me, but my experience was that most folks at Western, generally speaking, are very down with the word queer.
Yeah.
It's VCash.
I only know a very few folks who are uncomfortable with it, and they're only uncomfortable with it for themselves personally.
Yeah, the general culture is good and very cash. So I was very, I went,
ADHD brains.
yeah, I went looking for the gay community, and I very quickly found them, and they were all very down with the word queer because it was, kind of all encompassing and cool. For again, it was obviously well, if you don't want it for you, obviously we won't call you individually queer, but there was a lot of collective usage. And I was like, this is a nice word because it makes me feel very connected to this particular community. And also it doesn't have to mean anything concrete. It means that I'm not straight, and I'm definitely not, but I'm still kind of figuring out, because you have to keep in mind, I had never done anything at all with a girl at that point. And obviously you don't have to know your identity. But I didn't know what the extent of my feelings about girls were. I had kissed one guy and I'd made out with one guy, and those were both weird experiences. Deeply weird. Someday for a Patreon bonus, I'll tell you about the time I made out with Josh Hawley in a tent. Because it's a fucking story.
That was a story for your senior year or whatever, right?
That was the night before I graduated.
Okay, cool. That's what I thought. Yeah, very good story. Can confirm.
It's a lot. It involves my best friend almost getting murdered.
Every time Mackenzie tells a story, it's just very entertaining.
I tell great stories. That's why you all listen to me talk for an hour on these streams. Nathan once again spilling the tea on his mom, but she's in her 40s and still figuring out everything she's attracted to. It is a lifelong thing, and that's what we're getting at. So I felt very guilty when I was in high school and couldn't put a name on what my attraction was, because I was like, no, but it's hard, and you have all these feelings, and now that you've accepted you're not straight, you should be getting a pride flag and being out in the parade and being I am this exactly, and I should just know right away. And obviously, I do resonate with bisexuality a lot. I've got the flag on my wall that you can't see. I've got the whole tattoo on my arm. Oh, there's a bug. Okay, if I scream and jump out this window, y'all know why. It's because there's a bug. So, like, I do resonate a lot with bisexuality. Once I kind of accepted that, like, bisexual doesn't mean at all you have to be 50-50 evenly attracted to, like, two binary genders, and that it's not trans exclusionary in the slightest, I felt a lot more at ease with that. And also, I really like the color scheme. As y'all can see from my Baidu icon. From Emma's correct, I have led a very vibrant life. I don't have as many sexual experiences as you might think I do being the sex switch, but the ones that I do have are events.
Yeah.
Jesus God. Wait, where's Spin?
I
came out as bi in front of a newer group of friends by making out with people of multiple genders at a concert.
As one does.
Legend.
You are a legend.
Yeah. So I gradually dropped the pan because it just felt like after a while, like calling myself pan started to feel like I was trying too hard to be like, I'm inclusive, I could date anyone. And that's like not true. Because a very common understanding I see is like bisexuality is being attracted to multiple genders, pansexuality is being attracted regardless of gender, while like for bi folks it is like a component. And I know that's not everyone's definition. It's one that makes sense to me, and like gender is fucking relevant to my attractions. Like I said, my feelings about men, especially cis-het men, are complicated, although I am definitely attracted to them. Like, I wanted to jump on this because we wanted to talk about compulsory heterosexuality, and like, you know, you talked about being like, I could maybe be attracted to a man with a gun to my head.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, I go through a period of doubt where I'm like, maybe I am a lesbian, and I've just been like deeply like internally lesbophobic this whole time by not admitting it. But like, y'all, sometimes I fucking see a dude and I'm like, fuck, he's hot. What's up? I'd make out with him even though I know he's probably stupid.
Yeah, no, I look at a man and I want to run.
Yeah. Whereas like I look at a man and then I want to run because I feel so stupid for having a crush on another cis man. Like I can't, y'all know about the fucking philosophy major who would walk into my workplace and be so fucking beautiful. I couldn't look, like I would have to leave the register because if I tried to look at him, I would just start like, I would blush like a fucking Catholic school child. Good God.
I'm good.
From Nathan, Mackenzie goes whole hog on their adventures. I do, and it's a weird hog. So I dropped pansexual. I embraced a wider look at a man.
I'm so glad,
Marjo.
I'm so glad all the lesbians in the chat are in the mood of wanting to run and looking at men.
Yeah. From Nathan Spalding, as a dude can confirm we're the worst.
Very good.
Not all of you, okay? Not not all men.
That's what I was gonna say.
Not all men are the worst. I've met nice men.
There are some good men in the world.
Most of them are queer.
Yeah. So, non-cis-het men are usually the good ones.
The queer men and Nathan Spalding. There are two cis-het men that I tolerate, and one of them is in this chat. The other one is a very nice boy named Austin.
I do wear Old Spice. That's a major call out, Bridget.
Are you wearing it right now?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, I can smell it. So this is a mess. So pansexuality just started feeling like I was trying too hard to prove I was inclusive, even though it didn't really resonate with me. I came to understand that bisexual can mean a lot more than like two. Ugh. And the word queer just felt like home as soon as I found it. Just because queer is so like, it's whatever. It's like, hey, I'm not straight. Honestly,
whatever you want to
maybe
be.
my attractions will change from day to day, and that's up to me. They're never straight though, you know? And that's cool. I like that a lot. That resonates. So I kind of latched onto that.
Jordan, I'm so glad you've managed to bring up BTS twice in this chat, as far as I can tell.
From Haley Weasley, in theory, I'm attracted to cis-het men, but then they speak, and I'm like, well, never mind. See, that's my thing. I'm attracted to cis-het men. I am not attracted to the way most cis-het men are socialized to be, and that's a difference. Like, if patriarchy was not the way it is, I would be a lot more into men. So, like, men, you brought this on yourselves.
Nathan Spalding said, I had one friend in high school come out as trans to me in high school, and when I was cool with it, I became friends with every gay kid in the school within 2 weeks. That's the ally of the year. That is the ally of the year right there. 1.2 times.
We're not.
Kim Namjoon is just one side with the beat. He's a member, he counts. Anyway, I'm not doing this.
I can't believe you and Jordan are going to find a way to sideline this with K-pop while you're here in person.
I don't like it.
No, me neither.
Stan Luna.
What the fuck did you just say? God, I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss anything super important. Okay, so that brings, I think someone was talking a little bit about the pressure of like, oh, I've already come out once. I don't want to go through all that again. That's a relevant one, I think. And
that's what I went through.
I think do you want to talk about that? We didn't put that in the outline, but I'm very privileged in the fact that I never really had to have a big, like, coming out. Like, one day I just started being more openly not straight around my family, and they were fine with it because they've been new, probably. So I never had to do that.
I came out as multiple things, mostly online because, once again, I kept most of my privacy to myself. I came out to my real life friends probably twice total, and even then, when I came out as a lesbian to my college friends, I pretty much didn't say anything directly. I was just like, hey, I'm a lesbian, and they're like, okay.
Yeah, can confirm.
Like, Riley, who was just a guest a little while ago, I remember I was at our... Yeah, she lives here.
She was a guest.
She was a guest on the live stream.
Yeah.
But I remember we were having a little gathering over at our friend Eli's house, and she just looked at me and she went, "I'm just so glad you're a lesbian," and I was like, "Thank you." But I had to come out.
Because you were really bad bisexual.
I was a very bad bisexual. Nobody is a bad bisexual unless you're not actually bisexual.
Okay, that's like I call myself a bad bisexual often because of my convoluted attraction to men. But, like, you are actually a bad bisexual because you are not actually attracted to multiple genders.
My attraction to men was completely fake. I am attracted to women and women-aligned people. Yeah, but I came out to my mom as pansexual, and then I was like, you know what, I'm good with the label bisexual. And then back in October 2018, I was like, yeah, I'm a lesbian. She was like, so you don't like men? And I was like, no.
That's what a lesbian
means.
She was
like, okay.
Oofta.
But, yeah,
Did you feel any, like, pressure, not like pressure, but like, did you feel any like, oh, well, I can't come out again? Like, Yeah,
I was like, well, I already came out as bi, so
good?
Yeah, I refuse. I can't sit properly.
Do you want to switch seats?
No,
it's easier to sit in a chair. I promise.
No, I'm good. I'm very stubborn. But I was in this whole thing of like, well, I came out once, so if I come out again, you know, I'm gonna look bad, or you know, I'm gonna be putting bad stereotypes on bisexuals or bad stereotypes on lesbians. And it was just, it took me a while. I spent the whole summer identifying as a lesbian and told absolutely nobody until I came here. And people were like, so are you a lesbian? And I was like, yeah.
That whole, like, it's a bad stereotype if you identify as one and then, like, realize you're actually the other. It's so harmful because I think it applies to a lot of identities, but for, like, women who are attracted to women specifically, like, either way will be used to invalidate you.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's shit. I think this is going to kind of like cycle us into the last part. So part 4, and then you stop growing and changing and learning new things about yourself, right?
Absolutely not.
Not a fucking chance.
No way.
Like Nathan Spaulding said, it's lifelong. We're all going to be 40, 60, whatever, and still figuring shit out.
Yeah. Identity is a whole ass messy thing. And even though I am still perfectly happy with the label lesbian, it's been almost a year since I technically came out to my Tumblr where 5 people followed me at the time. And I didn't even actually come out. I just called myself a lesbian on there, or nobody knew anything different. But I've been much, much happier with that label than I've ever felt with bisexual. I was pretty happy with bisexual, but there was something wrong about it. Yeah, no, it was fake. It was a lie.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'm bi, and I was happy with it for 6 years. Then I was like, oh no, this is wrong. This is very bad. And God. But
I think there's such a palpable, like, feeling with, like, labels that don't work for you. Because, like I said, I occasionally have my doubting moments when I'm like, maybe if it's been a couple months since I felt anything about a dude. Hey, shout out to everyone buzzing their hair. You're so fucking good. Doing gay shit with your hair is so good. It doesn't matter if you're a stereotype. But, like, when I have my occasional, like, doubt moments, I'll be like, maybe I am a lesbian. And then I try to, like, conceptualize myself, like, with the word lesbian on me. And I'm like, that's not right. You know that's not correct. That ain't accurate.
Quick shout out to my girlfriend who is currently at a con, but I told them I would shout them out tonight, so I'm going to. They're not watching this right now because they are in Chicago, but they're at a con, and I love them, and I'm gay.
Aww. I love gay love.
Anyway, so back to the whole sexuality thing. It's such a fucking...
Becca, you're so fucking valid. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, just after deciding my sexuality crisis is done, because about 3 years ago, I looked at myself and I was like, hey, what if you're not bisexual or a woman? And it's the whole John Mulaney thing where it's like, we don't have time to unpack all that. So I put off the whole gender thing for about 3 years, and I was like, hey, you're a lesbian. What if you're not a woman? And I was like, hey, this is gonna take a while. So I went into that whole thing, and I really looked into non-binary lesbians and the whole thing of there's this whole disconnect from womanhood, because a lot of the things in society are created for people who are men or attracted to men, unless you're aro ace and non-binary, which complicates the whole thing, and we can get into the erasure of that. But hey, so I started identifying with non-binary, and I'm still trying to stop gatekeeping myself on that. I'm still barely talking about it because it makes me very nervous, even though
you're just I'll just get on the internet and say it live.
Yeah, no, I've just started using it in the past few months, and even then, every time I talk about it, I'm still yeah, this is fake. Someone's gonna call you out for being fake. You're not real. And I was like, cool, thanks. But I've started testing nicknames with the whole AJ thing, and the fact that I did not tell Mackenzie until tonight because I don't know how to talk about these things. But it's a really long process, and I'm not going to rush myself through it, and that is something I really want to stress. Please do not rush yourself. I identified as something that I was not for 7 years.
Yeah. I think it's great that a lot of people are coming out younger. That's awesome. But I think with that, there comes a lot of pressure to know exactly what you are at a very early age, and that's just not realistic for a lot of folks. And also one, it's okay to go without a label for a while. That's awesome. 2, it's okay to change your label, because we are constantly growing and learning new things about ourselves. And every time you find a new thing that fits better and makes more sense, feel free to slot that one in, I know me mentioning being aromantic is a fucking square on the bingo card, so I'm about to fucking bingo myself, but I just started identifying as aromantic a little over a year ago.
Yeah.
And that felt fucking awesome. You want to talk about labels feeling like home? Nothing changed about my life. I was already not dating, and I did not start, obviously, but having a word just automatically made it feel like that whole aspect of myself was more okay.
Yeah, I was already not dating men. I specifically, when I identified as bisexual, the only encounters I ever had were men with on Tinder, where I spoke to them for a little bit. Hi, my girlfriend's here. Everyone say hi to Amelia. Anyway. Back to that. What was I talking about?
You weren't dating men.
Oh, yeah.
And then your girlfriend shows up.
Yeah, speaking of me not dating men, my girlfriend's here.
Aww.
So, but, I was already a bisexual who was not dating men, and then I was like, hey.
I like that Marcher just knows your girlfriend's name.
Oh, I said say hi to Amelia.
Oh, okay, I didn't know.
Still, very good.
Yep.
Very good. But, yeah, I was already not dating men, and I was like, hey, what if I'm not dating men for a reason? Which, if you're bisexual and you're not dating men, that's still perfectly valid. But in my personal scenario, there was a reason behind it. Yeah. And it was not related to any other sort of thing besides me being a giant lesbian. But lesbian loneliness is a whole thing, and I didn't have anyone to go to until I joined that fandom, because I knew 3 other lesbians. 2 of them were acquaintances where I only see them every so often, and then my roommate was also a lesbian, but she was an hour and a half away, and I didn't have any other contact with her besides messaging her, and I was still very nervous and very closeted. So lesbian loneliness is a huge bitch. And I know there's a whole lot of other scenarios where you just feel like you don't have any other members of your community. So just, when you don't have anyone else to go to, you're just kind of stuck in this own little zone trying to rely on yourself and some people on the internet to figure out what the hell you are. But seriously, no rush. I am begging you, do not rush yourself through this.
I don't want to derail that, but Bridget has 6 bi siblings.
That is amazing.
Fuck yeah!
That is the gay gene right there. Jordan sent an emoji. I don't know what it is, but it's a box.
Also, Bridget, I'm sorry. I know that was about the only lesbians you knew being old. But I do think it's very fucking cool. You have 6 bisexual siblings. You have 18 siblings!
Holy shit! I'm an only child. Anyone having any siblings is just fucking baffling to me.
Holy shit. That's so many. Bridget, what's up? But
That's
shout
okay.
out to all these gay relatives. Jesus God.
No rush for you to stay, Amelia. We'll be here for a little bit. I don't know
they
how
can
long,
hear
but
you.
anyway, yeah. Anyway, I love you. You'll hear this later.
Yeah, so we definitely already touched on the way that it's okay to like change identities. I do want to touch a little bit more on that idea of like people feeling very compelled to like sort themselves into like identities like in a big way, and not even necessarily like their main like who am I attracted to. Just like this has kind of died down a bit, I think, on Tumblr, but we went through that phase for a while where everyone was like very determined to like sort themselves either like a top or a bottom, or or there was also the window where like any like woman who identified person who's attracted to women was like I fall somewhere on like a butch femme scales, if like butch and femme are not two like things that mean specific things, are not meant to apply to every queer woman on earth. Those were both a little beyond me. I can just like that I do. Do you want to speak to either of those?
Yeah, I can definitely. I mean, I can touch on top and bottom too, but specifically on like butch femme.
Yeah,
I'm not here to gatekeep anyone. If you are attracted to women, feel free to identify as butch or femme. But for the love of God, please know these labels have a history behind them. They have meaning.
Y'all.
A butch person isn't just a masculine woman or woman identifying or related person. Femme isn't just a feminine related person. They have more meaning than you think. I don't want to assume that you don't know this, but just look into the history of it. If you want to identify with it and you're attracted to women and you're semi like woman identified, fucking go for it. But just there's a history behind it. You do not have to identify with things. Yeah, Jordan said.
Jordan, the scale
it was
started as a joke, and then it became very serious. It's not a sliding scale on which every queer woman was meant to fit.
You do not have to identify as butch or femme as a queer person. It's not something you have to. I joke about calling myself a soft butch, but genuinely, I don't have any links on me right now on the butch femme history, but I can definitely look some up. I know there's a few blogs that like link about it. One book recommendation for the book rec little bingo chart. The book Stone Butch Blues by Leslie Steinberg. Yeah, by Leslie Feinberg. Thank you.
I got you. I know books.
GWS major coming in.
Okay, listen. Well, I have to use my useless degree for something.
Hey, I'm not making fun of you for it.
That's fair.
But yeah, Stone Butch Blues, very good book. Yeah, thank you for correcting me, Nate and Mackenzie. I'm a fake lesbian. I don't know these things.
That's okay.
But yeah, good book if you want to learn about the butch and femme history. It's trigger warning for some rape mentions and details, but it is worthwhile read if you want to understand the history behind it.
Put it in the description. Oh yeah, I did hydrate.
Hydrate or die.
I just really enjoyed a while back while I was working on the outline for this episode. I think there was a post that was like, you don't have to be like a butchy femme or a femme butch. You're just a queer woman who owns more than one outfit. Calm down. And I was like, yeah. That resonates. That's real. Jordan wants to know if you've hydrated.
I did drink water earlier. Not in the last 10 minutes, which you want me to do, but I did drink water earlier.
Run to my sink right now. No. Yeah, there's just, I get it. Like, I get that it's fun to be like, oh, I'm XYZ, but like, you don't, I just need us all to be, this is like a very different label thing. Like, I just need it to be clear. Not everyone exists on like a scale between like two polar opposites. And like, it's fun. I know it's fun to categorize yourself, but when it's like your actual like human identity as a queer person, you don't always have to do that. And that's fine. I say this as someone who, fell off the masculine feminine scale and also does not understand why everyone's so obsessed with being tops and bottoms. Why we
binaries
just
are
turns.
Not rad. Thank you, Sven.
I like that binaries are spelled with a Z.
Yeah.
Okay, we are nearing the end. I think we filled the time really well. I had like a moral, it's fine. I ended the closing thoughts section. You just had gay and trans rights, baby. Which
gay
is
and
great.
Trans rights, baby.
Baby. Does anyone have any you've all shared some absolutely buck wild stories in the chat over here.
We didn't talk about it tonight, but I'm gonna drop a link about compulsory heterosexuality.
Oh yeah, would you like to talk about that?
Yeah.
Also Jordan just dropped versus supremacy in the chat, and I can't agree with that on the grounds that you used the word supremacy, but like you're right. Let's talk about compulsory heterosexuality.
Yeah, let's talk about compulsory heterosexuality.
About how I know for sure that I am bi, which is that sometimes I see men and I'm like, fuck yeah. He's stupid, but fuck yeah. Let's talk about the other side of that, where you don't have a fuck yeah reaction to men.
Let me go ahead and drop that. But on the whole topic of compulsory heterosexuality, like, once again, we cannot decide your identity for you, but if you are feeling like you are forcing yourself...
Stop, you're moving my whole desk!
If you feel like you are forcing yourself to be attracted to men or being attracted to women, specifically if you're, like, a woman-identifying person and you feel like being attracted to men is some sort of, like, thing you're, like, making yourself do. I'm forgetting the word right now. But if you're, like, dragging your feet to do it, there might be more behind that. Like, if the only men that you're attracted to are fictional or celebrities or, men that you personally cannot connect to on some sort of level, there are some sort of, like, distance to you, there might be something behind that. And, like, even if you're not actually a lesbian, it's still something to, like, sort of look into if you are dragging your feet. I just made myself be attracted to men because I thought that's what society wanted for me. I just dropped the link to the post about compulsory heterosexuality. There's a whole thing behind it, but just look into your sexuality if you're actually like, if you're feeling some questioning things like I was, where it was like, hey, maybe you're not attracted to men. If you're like feeling dread every single time, yes, compet is a universal woman thing.
Yeah. I also want to nod to Eli. I don't know. One of the Eli's in the chat over here saying this is a mood for romantic attraction as an arrow. You're correct. If you're like, hey, romantic attraction feels like a burden and a chore, and I don't understand why it's such a big deal, you might not be into that. Ditto for like sex if you're ace, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Compulsory heterosexuality as a non-binary person turned my brain to mush. It sure did.
Congrats. God. So basically, like AJ is saying, if you are questioning things and if something feels off, like, please feel free to start exploring that. Also, feel free to not ask me to sort it out for you.
Yeah.
Because I can't, because I don't know your heart and your brain or anything about you except the anonymous question you've sent me on tumblr.hell, and I can't possibly sort that out for you. I don't have that authority. I don't want that authority. It makes me a little uncomfortable that you're trying to give it to me, and all I'm going to tell you is that if it feels right, you should probably go ahead and call yourself that.
Yeah. There's this whole thing of, like, if you are wishing yourself to be something, you should look into that. Yeah. Like, I just had these times where I was like, God, I wish I was a lesbian. And it wasn't, like, in a joking manner. Mm-hmm. It was, like, genuinely, I wish I was not attracted to men. And I was like, hey, what if you're doing that because you're not attracted to men?
Why are you wishing that, do you think? Like, maybe that,
Like, the whole times where I was like, hey, I wish I wasn't a woman. Or, like, I wish I was non-binary. And I was like, hey.
Yeah.
Maybe you are.
Yeah. What was I gonna... Fuck, I was gonna say something.
I don't know. We got the one brain cell bouncing back and forth.
We gave it to Arcane.
We gave it to the boy.
Riley took the brain cell with her.
Riley took the brain cell with her so she could bang.
Yeah. No, but I was gonna. Oh yeah. My rule of thumb. You were saying if you're wishing it. My rule of thumb used to be if you have to ask a stranger on the internet about it, you probably aren't straight. But I had to change that because one time someone messaged me and he was like, hey, I'm a guy. I just kissed another guy. Am I gay now? And I was like, I don't know. Are you? Because if you're just a straight guy who kissed a guy friend, like, no, that didn't make you gay. So I had to tweak that wording. Now I just kind of advise people like, hey, if it feels right to call yourself something or if like exploring it feels right, go for it. And even if it does, even if that doesn't end up being the label that you use long term, that's fine. That doesn't mean that your sexuality was like not real or it was a phase or that it was like less valid somehow. Like it was real to you and that was how you felt at the time. Like I have a friend who currently identifies as pansexual who used to identify as ace, and like that doesn't, like, I know a lot of people use that as like an argument for like, oh, well, like asexuality wasn't real, it was a phase, but like she wasn't experiencing sexual attraction. She didn't have that interest. She didn't want that. Like her asexuality wasn't her feelings weren't retroactively not real just because they changed later. That happens to our feelings all the fucking time. And like, a big area where I'm really passionate about that is like I see a lot of folks saying like you shouldn't teach kids about asexuality because like a lot of kids don't have any sex drive yet and they'll just identify as ace and then change their minds later. And like actually I think that's awesome because if kids aren't feeling sexual attraction, why the fuck shouldn't they be allowed to call themselves ace? Like I've actually heard from like multiple like ace identified adults like because like as kids they felt the need to like overcompensate and be like more sexual than they were really comfortable with or like ready for at that age. And like if they'd had asexuality as a concept that they knew of, they could have identified with that a lot earlier and felt a lot more comfortable and like justified not pursuing things they weren't actually comfortable with. So teach kids about asexuality and let them identify with it.
Jordan
is my comment.
Jordan said it's just like if you used to like or hate food, but more serious because there's not discrimination against broccoli eaters.
Yeah. Like listen, like if you used to like really, you know, not like broccoli, and you're like, broccoli's all right actually. You didn't like your dislike of broccoli in the past is not retroactively a lie. You just developed a different palate. You actually did develop different taste buds. That's why a lot of people find their food taste changes with time. I was just listening to Griffin and Rachel McElroy talk about it on Wonderful. It was wild. Anywho's, so that's what I got. Oh, good. Draven sent me a picture of a cat. You
Speaking of cats,
are the most important person here. Okay, we are at the 1 hour mark. If anyone has any closing thoughts, tell me now.
Yeah, any thoughts, questions, concerns?
I'm also gonna do that thing I do where I drop my Patreon. Because that's important.
Hi, Roman. Thanks for joining.
Roman, yay. Roman, you are so late. We are literally getting ready to stop.
You're valid.
You're so valid. Talking about the McElroys should be bingo. I've been declared the fourth McElroy brother. Fuck off.
Okay, I've been listening to a lot of like McElroys and a lot of like fucking Polygon lately.
Yeah.
You should be a part of Polygon.
I don't know video games.
Yeah.
I don't know. And they're gonna hire me just to sit there and be like, what the fuck is it? My whole shtick is not understanding how video games work.
I feel like you could still be an important part of the team with that.
That's fine. I could do the board game stuff.
Yeah.
I like the board games.
You could be like you could be there when they play like the online games.
Yeah. I could do like the Jackbox. I could do Overboard.
Yeah, Jackbox.
I haven't done Overboard in a hot fucking minute.
Yeah, shout out to Jordan for giving me a Polygon playlist.
Nice. Anyway, so I plugged my Patreon a second ago. If we reach the $200 goal, I will personally apply for a job with Polygon. No, that's not true. I won't do that. But I'm currently going for a stretch goal. If I hit the $169 nice dollars a month, I'm gonna do a drunk history of the Bat family. We're only like $25 a month away from that.
Mackenzie will join
Polygon.
Eli has declared it.
Eli has spoken it into being. I will be everyone's favorite long-distance coworker. Anyway, I'm trying to hit $169 a month. I will do a drunk history of the Butch family for you, complete with the latest and greatest edition Robert Pattinson, I guess. For a future, yeah, exactly. It's like the McElroys would be in Trolls too. Mackenzie will be in Polygon.
Becca said you're at 142, so you need $27 more.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like literally if a couple people go join at some tiers, we do some good rewards. Okay. $1, you get to see all my outlines. You are also going to be on the new Sex Witch mailing list where I send out updates via email. I almost said via Polygon. Y'all have Polygon too in my head now.
Don't do it. He's gonna commit
here comes
crime.
The boy. If you join the $3, you will get a retrospective on one Tumblr post every month. Usually the ones I regret the most. This month it's going to be about the makeup post. Although the only thing I regret about the makeup post is that I didn't just straight up say TERFs in the original.
Yeah.
Radical feminism that's anti-capitalist and criticizes power structures is great. It's been co-opted by TERFs, and that's bad. Oh, Roman, that's definitely arcane.
Yeah.
Message me later. There's been some developments. Marjo is at the $5 tier and says it's worth it. I didn't pay her to say that. $5. I read an erotica every month. I'm thinking because of Detective Pikachu, there's a Pokemon fanfic that involves Luigi and a Pokemon doing the deal.
I would like you to read the Kanye West and Macklemore one again.
I might do that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that's real. So I will read some nasty fanfic, and those remain accessible. So if you join right now, you can still see the ones from previous months. If you join at the $7, yeah, you get to see a baking stream once a month. I make good shit. The
What about the
Finding Nemo one. Miles, send me the Finding Nemo fic.
I've got a good Glee one too.
God,
I hate that I said that out loud.
yeah, send me the Glee one. Yeah, guys, please send me your horrible smut fics. I will read them and suffer. We will suffer together. And if you join at the $10 level, in addition to all of that, you get a sticker every month, and they're pretty fucking cute. I just showed AJ the one I'm sending out at the end of this month. What did you think of it?
It was good.
It's good.
It's very good.
It's very
Jordan,
good.
absolutely not. I'm not reading it out loud. Absolutely not.
What is the milk fic?
No.
Okay, I don't want to know.
No,
hey,
you don't.
Draven, it's okay if you don't have money. It's fine. It's so fine. It's super cool. There's no pressure on anyone. It just helps a little, it helps me do, okay, Jordan, I've been exempt. It just helps a lot to like do this and have more time, and like it's a lot easier to dedicate time to writing and researching. Nate, you do count as a patron for driving me places. That's helpful. It's just, oh God, Allison just sent me something terrible. Anyway, it just helps a lot to dedicate more time to writing and researching these streams when I'm worrying a little bit less about money. Also, my roommate just moved out and took a lot of things. There are 3 explicit Finding Nemo fic. I know what I'm reading this month. So if you'd like you know what I should do in honor of the announcement of Robert Pattinson's casting as Batman, I should find the original fic Master of the Universe, which is 50 Shades before all the names got changed, so it's Bella and Edward.
Jordan, we're not doing the milk fic. Absolutely not.
So I guess I'm just making a queue of
bad smut fics.
Bad smut fic. So if you would like to see me read those, please join my Patreon at the $5 a month tier. It's fantastic.
Join the Patreon, but don't read the milk fic.
Join the Patreon. Don't read the milk fic.
Yeah. Those should be our last words.
And on that note, have a beautiful night. Thank you so much for being here. I love you all dearly. Join me next week to talk about my problems with makeup.